Wrapping up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shildt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Bays Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort post-game show here on the Padres Radio Network. A tough one in the Bronx tonight for the Padres as they fall 12-3 in the middle game of this three-game set. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Hey, player, the Jamul Casino Resort is your place with a Lux Hotel Tower opening soon, new dining, and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Well, a final score in this game that really wasn't indicative of how close it was through about 6.5 innings in this game. Padres taking a 3-2 lead in the top of the 7th inning after Fernando Tatis Jr. at the time came up with a huge RBI double. You felt really good about this game because the Padres bullpen has been so stellar all year, and really anytime they've been given even a one-run lead late in the game, they've found a way to hold it. Well, that was not the case in this one here today. Bottom half of the 7th inning, the Yankees exploding for 10 runs on 7 hits. Austin Wells, a grand slam to cap a 10-run bottom half of the 7th inning, and just a really, really rough inning for number one, Adrian Morejon, and then Wandy Peralta. Morejon got 1 out. He was charged with 4 earned runs on 4 hits. Wandy Peralta, 2 outs in the inning, allowed 6 earned runs on 4 hits, 2 walks for Wandy. And the bottom line, number one, those guys got hit. You could see it right off the bat in that bottom half of the 7th inning with Adrian Morejon, double, single, just like that. We had a tie game. And then Wandy Peralta falling behind guys. He walked in the go-ahead run, gave up hits, gives up the grand slam to Wells, and the inning just totally unraveled. And it's the one time, really, in this season, late in a game with a lead, where the Padres bullpen has faltered. And it wasn't just a falter, it was just an unraveling in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Hey, these things do happen. The bullpen has been absolutely stellar, really top to bottom all year, but they had a rough 7th inning in this one here today. There's no way around it. Just a really, really rough stretch as the Yankees sent 13 batters to the plate in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Certainly some other things to break down in this game. Michael King was solid, not at his best, didn't have his best command today, but got through 6 innings, 2 runs given up. Clark Schmidt was good for the Yankees as well. And the Padres offensively, some things that would frustrate you. You can point to the 7th inning, top half of the 7th. Padres take that 3-2 lead. Manny Machado strikes out with the bases loaded. You do kind of wonder, had Manny been able to come through there, extend the lead a little bit. Who knows how the rest of this game goes in the later innings. But I mean, again, 10 runs in the 7th inning. That's the story in this game. Just a really, really rough 7th inning for Morejon and Peralta, and the Yankees go on to win it by a final of 12-3. Sets up a rubber game of this 3-game series tomorrow. Going to be a tough one for the Padres tomorrow. They go up against left-hander Max Fried on the mound for the Yankees. He has been excellent so far this year. Dylan Cease on the mound tomorrow for the Padres, and I think safe to say Padres are going to need that real good version of Dylan Cease tomorrow. We'll talk more about tomorrow's game coming up later. When we come back, our radio highlights will also go back to Yankee Stadium in New York. Here's some post-game reaction from Mike Shildt. Much more to do as the Padres see their 6-game win streak snapped here today. They dropped to 23-12. Yankees improved to 20-16. We're back with more post-game coverage after this on the Padres Radio Network. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Tough one for the Padres in New York tonight as they fall 12-3 to the New York Yankees. We'll go back to Yankee Stadium. Here's some postgame reaction from Mike Shildt. Coming up in just a little bit, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll get to our daily awards, get to your phone calls coming up a little bit later as well. But first, let's recap this one from start to finish.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Like I said earlier, the final score in this game really not indicative of what it was for 6.5 innings. We had a pretty quiet first 3 innings in this one. Michael King and Clark Schmidt matching zeros on the mound, although the Padres did have at least one base runner on in each of the first 3 innings. The Yankees also had some base traffic against Michael King. We had a scoreless game going top 4. The Padres rallied. Manny Machado single. Jackson Merrill followed with another single, already his second hit of the night in his return to the lineup. Gavin Sheets drew a 1-out walk to load the bases with Jason Hayward at the plate. Clark Schmidt committed a bases-loaded balk. That scored Manny from third base and moved up the other 2 base runners. Jason Hayward then hit a sac fly to left. Jackson Merrill scored from third, and just like that, a balk, a sac fly. Padres had a 2-0 lead. However, the Yankees answered in the bottom of the 4th inning with 1 out and nobody on. It was Michael King against his good friend Aaron Judge.
2-2 in the air to deep right field. Fernando is back. He is at the wall, leaps up, can't get it. A home run for Aaron Judge, his 12th of the year.
It was a classic Yankee Stadium short porch home run. That would have been out in just 2 other ballparks in the major league. So it was one of those for Aaron Judge, but a home run nonetheless made it a 2-1 game. Michael King then issued a walk to Cody Bellinger. Jason Dominguez was next.
Dominguez, hard hit right side. Great diving attempt by Wade, but into right field. Fernando comes up firing towards third, and it gets by Machado, goes into the camera well in the dugout, and that will tie the game as Bellinger will come home to score.
It would end up being ruled a single and an error on the throw by Fernando Tatis Jr. Made it a 2-2 game. King would strand Dominguez on third base. He got through 4 innings with the game still tied at 2. Both King and Schmidt were pretty good in this game. 6 innings for both, and they allowed just 2 runs. We were still tied at 2. Going to the top of the 7th, former Padre Tim Hill came in. Gavin Sheets hit a leadoff single. Elias Diaz hit a 1-out single. That sent Sheets to second. There were still runners on first and second. 2 outs, right-hander Fernando Cruz on the mound against Fernando Tatis Jr.
Tatis swings, lines it towards right center field. That's going to find the alleyway. That's going to get down and bounce. Cut off in the gap by Judge, but 1 run is scored as Sheets crosses the plate. It's an RBI double for Fernando Tatis Jr., and the Padres are back in front. It's 3-2.
So a big hit for Nando. Padres would load the bases for Manny Machado later in that 7th inning, but Cruz struck out Manny to keep it a 1-run game. Adrian Morejon entered in the bottom half of the 7th. Dominguez hit a leadoff double. Anthony Volpe singled. Dominguez went to third. So the Yankees had runners on first and third. Nobody out. Padres leading 3-2. It brought up Austin Wells.
Morejon delivers, and Wells swings, rips it into right field, a base hit. That'll tie the game. Dominguez on to score. Fernando fires into second base. An RBI single for Austin Wells. A 3-3 game, and 3 straight Yankee hits to begin the bottom of the 7th.
That, unfortunately, was just the start of the trouble. The Yankees would load the bases with 1 out. Top of the lineup in Trent Grisham coming up. Padres went to lefty Wandy Peralta to face Grisham. Peralta issued a 4-pitch walk. That brought in the go-ahead run to make it 4-3 New York. Ben Rice was next.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, hit hard on the ground, up the right field line. That is a fair ball, going to cause trouble. Wells has scored. Goldschmidt is on his way, and into second with a 2-run double. Ben Rice, the Yanks lead is now 6-3.
After an intentional walk to Aaron Judge to load the bases again, Cody Bellinger hit an RBI single. It was 7-3 Yankees. After getting the second out of the inning, Anthony Volpe hit a sharp 1-hopper that went off the glove of Manny Machado, a base hit, and an RBI for Volpe. A run scored to make it 8-3. So at that point, it already was a 6-run inning. Yankees leading by 5 runs, bases still loaded for Austin Wells.
3-2, runners go, and it's launched in the air, deep down the right field side, gone, a grand slam. Austin Wells with an exclamation point in this bottom of the 7th inning. A 10-run inning, and the Yankee lead is 12-3.
A 10-run bottom half of the 7th inning against Adrian Morejon and Wandy Peralta. Yankees sent 13 batters to the plate, 10 runs, 7 hits. They took a 12-3 lead, and that was about the story in this one here tonight. Tyler Matzik, a scoreless 8th inning for the Yankees. It was Yerry De Los Santos in the 9th inning, a scoreless frame. And that was it here tonight. 12-3 at the final in New York as the Padres see their 6-game win streak come to an end. Final totals for the Yankees: 12 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. For the Padres, 3 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. Padres dropped to 23-12, and the Yankees improved to 20-16. It sets up the rubber match of this 3-game series tomorrow evening in New York. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Plus, a little bit later, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We will get to your phone calls a little bit later as well. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to dial. Final score in New York, the Yankees 12 and the Padres 3. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this.
You're listening to the Jamul Casino.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Final score in New York today, the Yankees 12 and the Padres 3. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios. We'll hear some postgame reaction from Mike Shildt in just a moment. Obviously, very, very tough bottom half of the 7th inning for the Padres bullpen. Adrian Morejon and Wandy Peralta giving up 10 runs in that bottom half of the seventh inning as the Yankees went from down 3-2 to leading by a score of 12-3. To give you an indication of how rare this was for the bullpen, again, it's been well documented how incredible and really incredible this bullpen has been in the early part of this season. Let me read you off a couple of things here to really give you an idea. Consider this. The Padres bullpen through their first 34 games had a 1.68 ERA entering today. We actually talked about it in the pregame today. The 1.68 ERA, ranking first in the major leagues, and the second lowest ERA entering today was the Giants bullpen at 2.51. So we talked about it pregame how not only did they have the lowest bullpen ERA at 1.68, but it's way ahead of the next lowest team because the Giants are at 2.51. I mean, that's nearly a full ERA point. Padres bullpen also entered today having thrown 14 2/3 consecutive innings. So again, keep that in mind. It went from 1.68 today to 2.34. That's how much it went up today with the 10-run seventh inning. Also consider this. The Padres bullpen had only given up 26 runs total in the first 34 games of the season. They gave up 10 runs in one inning in that seventh inning. So, look, it was not a pretty inning for Morejon or Peralta. There's no way around it. They were hit hard. Control wasn't great. Falling behind guys for sure. No way around it. I will say, though, it does happen, and you do have nights where relievers are going to struggle. Padres bullpen has been exceptional so far this year. They're a huge reason why they're sitting at 23-12 even after today. So, look, if you're expecting me to get on here tonight and just get on this bullpen in a major way, I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, they've been great. Nights like this do happen. Got a little ridiculous in the seventh inning. You never want to give up 10 runs in an inning. In fact, it had been a really long time since the Padres gave up 10 or more runs in an inning. This was just the 9th time in franchise history the Padres had given up double-digit runs in a single inning. The last time they did it, all the way back in June of 2011. So it had been basically a decade and a half since the Padres gave up 10 or more runs in an inning. It was the first time Morejon gave up 4 earned runs in an outing since late in 2022. First time Peralta had given up 6 earned runs in an outing. So this was a weird one, sort of an unfortunate seventh inning with the way it unraveled, and the Padres fall 12-3. Let's go back to Yankee Stadium in New York and hear some post-game reaction.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt, served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Your bullpen's been so good. Just one of those nights that
bullpen's been fantastic. It's been tremendous. I mean, Morejon been tremendous. Wandy's been, you guys can do your research too, but Wandy's been outstanding. Hadn't given up an earned run. Third in all relievers in weak contact. Top 5 in strike percentage. Second in ground ball rate. So, the other side's trying to. So one of those games, one of those innings, and I will be more than happy to run them both out there tomorrow.
What did you think of Michael King tonight?
I thought Michael was really good. Battling a little bit, controlling counts. I won't speak for him, but I'm sure there's a lot of emotions going on, ramped up, getting after it. The ball was coming out good. Judge got him. I thought, nice piece of hitting. But I thought he was good overall. I mean, heck, this guy, got through 6 innings of work and kept him at 2 runs. And, we scored in the top half. So he left, the game officially as the pitcher of record with a win. So I thought Michael did the ball very well.
In the 7th, what went into the decision to lift Morejon when you did at that spot?
Yeah, basically just what I got through explaining. We got a guy that, we got the base load. It's not an ideal situation, obviously. We've got a guy that and Peralta that, again, has this third weakest contact rate in all of Major League Baseball. He's been throwing strikes. He hasn't been getting up a run all year. He's got a 70-something% ground ball rate. And he's second, by our numbers and the league numbers in ground ball rate among relievers. And we're in a situation where we're looking for soft contact and a ground ball.
What do you think of Jackson hitting the ground running?
It's pretty clear for me. But yeah, fair question. What's that?
What do you think of Jackson hitting the ground running there?
Yeah, literally running. Good for Jackson, good for us. I mean, gets to double down the line. True Jackson, works count, boom, takes what the game gives him, base hit the other way. Looks like he's moving free and easy. He's able to tag on the ball. It looked like Jackson Merrill, and good to have him back.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after this 12-3 loss against the New York Yankees in New York tonight. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios as we continue to wrap this one up. You heard there some of the thinking that went into bringing in Wandy Peralta in the seventh inning. Bases loaded, tie game to face Trent Grisham at the top of the lineup. Look, I had no issue with Wandy being the guy there. I really didn't. Went lefty to lefty. Morahone clearly didn't have his best stuff. That was pretty evident from the first batter or two. Look, Wandy's been really good coming in. I mean, he had a 1.35 ERA in 14 appearances coming in. He's a ground ball machine. That's what he does. He gets ground balls. So I really had no problem in that spot. Bases loaded, a tie game. You've got Grisham coming up a lefty. You've got Rice behind him, another lefty. A spot where you're looking for a ground ball to get you out of the inning or get a force out at home, try to keep the game tied. Look, I understood it really all the way around, Wandy being the guy there. So I had no issue with that whatsoever. I really, really didn't. And unfortunately, Morahone didn't have it. And, Wandy, struggled as well. He walks Grisham on 4 pitches. Obviously not an ideal way to begin that seventh inning, then gets hit, and it just sort of unraveled, right? And the grand slam by Wells and all of it. And the inning just unraveled on Morahone and then on Peralta. But I'll tell you, I didn't have any issue with Peralta being the guy there. I think that line of thinking for Mike Shildt makes a lot of sense. You had 2 lefties up there. You need a ground ball. Wandy's been really, really good. I know Wandy had a very up and down year last year, but he's been really, really good at the start of this season. He really has, and tonight, unfortunately, did not go well. We'll step aside when we come back, get into our daily awards, relief pitcher of the game, catch of the game, play of the game, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We will take your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call if you want to get involved. Final score, Yankees 12 and the Padres 3 on the Padres Radio Network. Baseball. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Tough one for the Padres here tonight in New York as they fall 12-3 to the New York Yankees. The Yankees with a 10-run bottom half of the seventh inning. Adrian Morejon, Wandy Peralta really struggling in that seventh inning. Padres had a 3-2 lead after Fernando Tatis Jr. RBI doubled to go ahead in the top of the seventh. But every time the Padres scored in this game, Yankees had a response. Padres got 2 runs in the top of the fourth inning. Yankees got 2 back in the bottom of the fourth inning to tie it at 2. Padres took the 3-2 lead, and then the Yankees responded with 10 runs in the bottom half of the seventh. If you want to get a call in, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, the phone number to call if you want to get involved. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Our relief pitcher of the game. Well, on the Padres side, it's admittedly a little tough, but we do have one, I think, really good option. So we'll stay on the Padres side. Why not? Ryan Bergert has got to be the guy. He was good. Once again, Bergert scoreless inning. At that point, it was a 12-3 game. But Ryan Bergert, rookie right-hander, tell you what, he's done a nice job so far out of the Padres bullpen. Now 4 appearances out of the pen. And guess what? He's got 4 scoreless innings under his belt. He's given up 1 hit. Hasn't walked anybody. He's done a really nice job. So Ryan Bergert, scoreless 8th inning. Why not give it to Ryan Bergert, our relief pitcher of the game, as he continues to do a nice job after getting called up to the major leagues. Now 4 consecutive scoreless appearances to begin his major league career. Padres played some good defense in this game, especially early. Let's hear today's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
And the 0-1 to Wells, grounded to first base. Arise has it, up to second one. Bogart's turn with King covering is in time, and a 3-4-1 double play to end the second inning. That helps King out of that lead walk to Dominguez, and we'll go to the third at Yankee Stadium. No score.
Our catch of the game, really nice double play in the bottom half of the second inning. Helped Michael King through that scoreless second. Really nicely done. 3-4-1 double play in the second. Good job by King covering first base, and that was our catch of the game. Nice defensive play by the Padres infield and Michael King. King was solid in this game in his return to Yankee Stadium. 6 innings, 2 runs, given up 3 hits. I'll tell you what, you even look at that 4th inning. Aaron Judge, the home run he hit, and look, and it's so funny seeing some of the replies that I got on X about this from Yankee fans that somehow found it. But I did tweet out the baseball savant home run chart for the Aaron Judge home run. The ball Judge hit would have been a home run in 3 parks in the major leagues: Yankee Stadium, George M. Steinbrenner Field, where the Rays are playing this year, which, by the way, has the dimensions of Yankee Stadium, so that one makes sense, and Daikin Park in Houston, which has a very short porch in right field. Out of the 30 major league ballparks, that ball that Judge hit would not be a home run in 27 of them. So it was kind of a classic short porch right field. Yankee Stadium home run is what it is. Padres played at the same ballpark today, and then you look at it, the walk to Bellinger was costly right after that for King, and then a single by Dominguez. Fernando Tatis Jr. probably shouldn't have made that throw to third base. It skips into the dugout. Run comes in. Both runs end up being earned on Michael King, but the reality is he went 6 innings, 2 runs given up, and even though he wasn't at his sharpest tonight, I think that's for certain. You know, aside from that short span in the 4th inning, he was good in this game. So pretty good start here today for Michael King, and Clark Schmidt was good for the New York Yankees as well. Both starting pitchers went 6 innings, 2 earned runs given up, and one of those games where it's pretty simple. I mean, this game just totally turned in the bottom half of the 7th inning when things unraveled for Morejon and Peralta. All right, let's go to the phones. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. After the Padres drop this one 12-3 to the Yankees, they see their 6-game win streak come to an end. Let's go to Chula Vista. It's John. John, you're on the Padres radio network. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, Sammy?
Doing well.
All right. Real quick. So my idea with the umpires here, as far as because actually King pitched really good tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't getting the high balls called.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now my question is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the umpires, because also they stated, what was it, last week or whatnot, with their whole strike zone stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they're doing this because of the fact that you're not, the umpires, within maybe next year or the following year are no longer going to be, calling the balls and strikes? It's going to be the computer-aided zone.
Yeah, you know what, John? Look, I don't think we're anywhere close, and appreciate the phone call. It's a fair question. I don't think we're anywhere close to a full-on quote-unquote robot ump where we have technology calling all the balls and strikes. I do think what's coming is the ABS, and I really liked it in spring training. I'll tell you what, we watched it in spring training. I thought it was easy. I thought it was good. I thought it was very, very non-obstructive to the game. I think we're going to see that next year. I really do. The ABS system at Major League Parks, because I think everybody was a big fan of it for the most part during spring training. So, look, yesterday, obviously, Adrian Johnson wasn't great. Tonight, I didn't think Quinn Wolcott was great behind the plate either, but it's kind of is what it is, right? Look, King certainly didn't get some calls, so maybe he could have, went even a little bit deeper in this game had he, maybe gotten some calls. But, again, you just look at this game, the 10-run 7th inning kind of tells the story. But, I think what's going to happen, in my opinion, not that I have any, inside information on it, is I think next year we're probably going to have this ABS system where you do have challenges, and we'll have the challenge system. And I loved it during spring training. And quite frankly, I loved it so much in spring training. I was thinking, maybe they'll just find a way to do it this year because it was so, I think, universally liked during spring training. But a fair question, John. And, we'll see what happens with the technology and the automatic ball strike system moving forward. Phone number 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to dial. We'll step aside, come back with a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard, play of the game, and get you ready for the rubber match of this 3-game series tomorrow at Yankee Stadium in New York. Final score, Yankees 12 and the Padres 3. Our post-game coverage continues after these words. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score, the Yankees 12 and the Padres 3 on this Tuesday evening sets up the rubber match of a 3-game series tomorrow in New York. We'll have more on that game coming up in just a little bit. Phone number if you want to get involved, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Padres see their 6-game winning streak come to an end. They dropped to 23-12 on the year. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have a number of finals already. Let's start with the one game that didn't happen today. Postponed in Colorado between the Tigers and the Rockies due to inclement weather. They'll make that up on Thursday. Cardinals beat the Pirates 2-1 in St. Louis earlier today. Alec Burleson, a go-ahead RBI double in that game for St. Louis. Brewers beat the Astros 4-3 in Milwaukee. Jake Bauers hit a home run in that game for Milwaukee. Royals beat the White Sox 4-3 in Kansas City. Bobby Witt Jr., a walk-off hit in that game in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Walk-off 2-run single for Bobby Witt Jr. as the Royals win it 4-3. Twins beat the Orioles 9-1 in Minnesota. Carlos Correa hit a home run in that game for the Twins. Braves beat the Reds 2-1 in 10 in Atlanta. Doubleheader today between the Guardians and the Nationals in D.C. Game 1 of that doubleheader, Nationals won it 10-9. Game 2, Guardians won it 9-1. Phillies beat the Rays 8-4 in Tampa Bay. Kyle Schwarber, a home run in that game, his 12th of the season. Rangers beat the Red Sox 6-1 at Fenway Park. The Marlins beat the Dodgers 5-4 in 10 innings in Miami, so that's a little bit of good news. Padres stay a half game back of first place in the NL West behind the LA Dodgers. Jesus Sanchez hit a game-winning 2-run single in that game against JP Fireeisen on the mound for LA. So the Marlins trailed in the bottom half of the 10th inning 4-3. Sanchez hits a 2-run single to win it 5-4. For the Marlins against the Dodgers. Games going on right now. Giants ahead of the Cubs 7-5 in the 11th inning in Chicago. Blue Jays and the Angels tied at 2 in the 5th inning in Anaheim. Mets and the D-backs tied at 1 in the bottom half of the 4th inning in Arizona. Mariners 2, A's 1 in Sacramento in the 3rd. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Tuesday. Final score in New York, Yankees 12 and the Padres 3. Let's hear today's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's play of the game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, hit hard on the ground, up the right field line. That is a fair ball, going to cause trouble. Wells has scored. Goldschmidt is on his way and into second with a 2-run double. Ben Rice, the Yanks lead is now 6-3.
Ben Rice, the 2-run double to make it a 6-3 game, our play of the game. That 2-run hit, part of that 10-run bottom half of the 7th inning. Could have gone with a number of different things from that 7th inning, quite frankly, but felt like that one really sort of broke the game open. You know, you're sitting there, it's still a 1-run game at 4-3, Yankees in front, but Ben Rice, the 2-run double, made it 6-3, and it was 7-3, then it was 8-3, and then Austin Wells, a grand slam to cap that 10-run inning for the Yankees tonight, make it a 12-3 game. They go on to win by that final score. Now that just about does it here tonight on the Padres Radio Network. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast with Sam Levitt, available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts. Or you can always go back on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and check out any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. Well, with the Padres winning yesterday, losing today, it's sets up what we call the rubber game of this 3-game series tomorrow in New York. It'll be same time, same place. First pitch tomorrow at 4:05 p.m. Our EcoWater SoCal Padres pregame show from inside our San Diego studios begins at 3:05. Starting pitching matchup tomorrow, we've got a good one. Dylan Cease on the mound for the Padres. Max Fried, the left-hander, on the mound for the New York Yankees. Fried has been really, really good. He's 6-0 with a 1.01 ERA on the season. As we know, it's been a little bit up and down for Dylan Cease, so Padres may need that real dominant version of Dylan Cease tomorrow. Again, first pitch at 4:05 local time here in San Diego, and 3:05 pregame start time tomorrow right here on the Padres radio network. By the way, just so you know, Padres then have an off day Thursday. They wrap up this 3-game series against, or I should say, they wrap up the 9-game road trip against the Colorado Rockies Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Denver, then come home to play the Angels beginning on Monday night at Petco Park. But again, the rubber game of the 3-game series tomorrow in New York. Taking a look at the final totals in game 2 of this 3-game set. For the Padres, 3 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They left on 7. For the Yankees, 12 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They left on 2. Winning pitcher in this game was Fernando Cruz, who improves to 1-0. Losing pitcher was Adrian Morejon, who drops to 1-1. Time of game, 2 hours and 45 minutes. And the crowd in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium, 38,090. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 4:05 p.m. local time here in San Diego. Our pregame coverage begins at 3:05. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Jeff Hamby, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from inside our San Diego studios. Again, the final score at Yankee Stadium tonight, the New York Yankees 12 and the San Diego Padres 3. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.